It is emotional. I want to thank the Recording Academy for honoring the love of my life, Alan Livingston. I have just one quick story to tell you. About, 3 years after we were married, he called me from Capitol Records and he said, "Nancy, I'm coming home for lunch." He never came home for lunch. So I thought, he said, "I want you to listen to something." I thought, my goodness, it must be really fantastic. So he came home, sat me down, and he said, first of all, there were the big bands of the 30s. He said, and then there was the phenomena of Frank in the middle of the 40s. He said, Elvis, of course, was the 50s. He said, this, I feel, may be the next step. So I thought, oh my goodness, this has got to be fantastic. So I sat down and he played for me, "I want to hold your hand, I want to hold your hand." I said, "Alan, that is the worst thing I ever heard." He never asked my opinion ever again. But we had a wonderful life, and we loved each other so much. I could talk all night about that. However, I want to thank Neil, and I also want to thank Mike Klink for helping this and making this happen, because they both worked with him, they both knew him, and they both knew what a really smart, gifted, very special human being he was. So thank you to the Academy. Thank you, Neil, so much. Now I would like to introduce to you Alan's daughter, Laura Livingston Gibson.
I always knew that my father was a very special man, and our family knew him for his incredible sense of humor, his eccentricity, his tremendous responsibility to his family, and his love for his family. To be here tonight to see him recognized for his creativity and his contribution to the music industry is very special to me. So thank you to the Academy.
I always believe just to give little stories as a way to get to know people, and everybody has seen some of the accomplishments that he did, but my dad was I'll give you an example. I came along late. My mom was pregnant with me when the Beatles were being released. I was 7 years old. I went up the street. Family had 8 kids up the street. They all had motorcycles. And we were listening to music, and one of the older brothers said, you know, Chris's dad signed the Beatles. And everybody got all excited. And I looked at him and said, who? And then they played me a song, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But I was disappointed that he hadn't signed the Partridge Family. In 7th grade, my friend Frankie Monteforti told me, turned me on to the Beach Boys. And he told me my dad signed the Beach Boys. I had no clue. My dad did not talk about this stuff. He just did stuff. I think the only person, I even read stuff after he passed away that I had no idea that he had done. And I think the only person he ever mentioned to me directly that he worked with was Barry White. So, anyway, my dad was a wonderful father. That's how I knew him. And I'm glad he was able to share himself with everybody. Thank you.